So you guys have been open for a week now? Is that it?
Correct, yes.
How's business been? How's business been one weekend?
It's been good.
Yeah?
Yes, business has been good, a nice steady flow, so that's always exciting.
Mm-hmm. If you had to describe the most common customer, your demographic, would you say it would be younger people, older people, wide range? What?
So, popularity-wise, like the people I see often, I would probably say after the age of 50 and up. So it's more of the older clientele, and I do believe kind of some people were kind of surprised about that starting out. They thought it was going to be a lot of like the younger clientele, and it was the complete opposite, to be honest with you.
You're involved in this business, so did you actually know that like that is the trend, that it's the older demographic that actually uses this stuff more?
Yeah, so that's actually a great question. I've been into cannabis for a long time. I've been a patient advocate forever. So I've done a lot of research on cannabis and rules, regulations, and just out talking to people about it. You can kind of tell it's definitely an icebreaker. Some people kind of shy away and some people open up. And I found a lot of the people who I thought were maybe going to be a little closed off were more opened, and then maybe some people that I thought were going to be a little more open-minded, maybe even closer to, mid-20s, early 30s, were kind of a little bit not so open-minded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like it's obviously a hot button thing. Have you dealt with any pushback from the community at all, or has it been more supportive?
I've had a lot of support, and I have been thankful for that. There are some occasional people who, kind of are they have just been told wrong information for so long that I feel like it's just a matter of needing educated. It's a lack of education on the topic.
Now, you talked about wrong information. What's the right information? Tell me what this place offers. Because a lot of people think you come in here and you just get a joint and leave.
Yeah.
And that's not the case. So what does this facility offer?
So something that we pride ourselves at Zen Leaf is the education that we do give to patients. Everybody leaves with a new patient folder, but everybody leaves with confidence. They're going to know when they get home how to utilize their medication properly. They'll have resources for them to contact people who, if they had adverse reactions, if they don't feel comfortable, or if they just feel like, they have more questions. We'll never leave them at, here's your medication, have a great day. Okay,
and do people get prescription here, or do you have to get that from your doctor and then you come here to pick up the prescription?
Yes, so we do dispense the medication. Mm-hmm. They have to have a doctor who is certified to recommend. Mm-hmm. So not all MDs are able to give you your recommendation. You do have to find one in your area who is, actively pursuing their CTR, which is their certificate to recommend.
And then how do they decipher what type of medication is the best? Because I know some of it is offered like through edible, is that right? Yes. And then some people do it. Is any of the medication like you smoke, or can you like smoke for medicine too, or how does it work?
Vaporize.
Okay.
Yes. In Ohio, you cannot set fire to products.
That's okay. Yes. I thought that was my understanding as well.
Yes. So you can vaporize through indirect heat, and that includes the flower as well as the cartridges. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of craze about the cartridge.
There sure is.
We just like to add black market. Do not go to your neighbor Joe for a cartridge, because you do not know what you're going to get. When you come into a dispensary, everything's, lab tested, and you're guaranteed no pesticides, nothing like that. So we have flour, they have tincture, which they can put it under their tongue. They have gummies, edibles, topicals, patches. I mean, they almost have every method you could use for your medication.
And that medication, that type, is that at the discretion of the patient to choose? If someone wants to try the gummies as opposed to trying the flower or the vaping, how do you determine that? Would you recommend that? Would the doctor recommend that, or is that on the patient to decide which type they go with?
So I feel like if they go to the doctor will maybe recommend some ideas, but ultimately I feel like it is to the patient's comfort. I don't think a doctor is going to recommend a patient to vape if, they're concerned about any vaping culture or like previous lung issues. They would probably go more towards edibles, and I think the dispensary and the doctor would support them. However, we do encourage patients to want to experiment. So, if they are looking, we'll definitely be encouraged, give them the correct information they need to do it appropriately, and then tell them to try it out.
What's been your most popular product so far?
So right now there has been a shortage for a while of product availability. So there was just flower for a long time. So we're starting to see more tinctures, more THC and CBD ratios where it's adding more CBD to it. So I feel like tinctures, the under your tongue, those are a pretty hot topic. It's comfortable, it's discreet, convenient, and people feel kind of safe with a tincture.
What would you like to tell the public about this place that hasn't already been discussed?
I would, if you're even curious about how to even start with the process of getting your card, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to guide anybody in the right direction. They could call me, email me, and I could help them find a doctor, help them find the resources that they need to be able to come in and ultimately choose their own path of medication.
Have there been any people that have come in here and said that they were skeptical at first, but then after trying it, it ended up being the right thing, or vice versa? Have there been people that said this wasn't for them? What's the reception been like from the use of your product so far?
So that exactly. I've had a lot of clientele who have been very skeptical about it. They're very afraid of the psychoactive effects of THC. They have that fear of being high, that couch lock feeling. So really just when you educate them about microdosing and just knowing your own limits, just because, somebody else can do a certain milligram doesn't necessarily mean you should. So it's just after they're educated on how to appropriately dose, I find that they come back, or I've gotten phone calls at 9:30, 10 at night just for somebody to tell me that they felt great all day. And stuff like that is kind of why I do it, because of the feedback that I get, especially from the people who thought that they were going to get zero relief from it. This was just ultimately their last option. They tried everything else.
Do you feel like this facility has an advantage getting involved so early, being that this is only the second dispensary in Stark County?
Yeah, I definitely feel like we have an advantage. Also, it helps as a resource. We're all in it together, and especially in the cannabis community. So any bit of resources that you can provide to somebody ultimately helps for future businesses and, the future.